The video presents a profound exploration of the mysteries of sleep, dreams, and the soul from both ancient spiritual texts and modern scientific perspectives. It delves into the idea that sleep is not merely a physical rest, but a spiritual journey where the soul temporarily leaves the physical body and connects with higher consciousness or subtle realms. Drawing from Sanatana Dharma, ancient Hindu philosophy, scriptures like the Rigveda, Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, and various Puranas, the video explains sleep as a state involving different stages of consciousness: waking, dreaming, and deep sleep, each representing a unique experience of the soul's journey. The narrative contrasts this spiritual viewpoint with neuroscience's understanding of sleep as a biological process for brain recharging, memory consolidation, and hormonal balance. However, it emphasizes that science still falls short of explaining the soul's experiences during sleep, dreams, and near-death states. Dreams are portrayed as a gateway to subtle worlds, often carrying divine messages, glimpses of the future, or memories from past lives. The concept of lucid dreaming and Yoga Nidra is introduced as conscious states that enable the soul to be aware during sleep, facilitating spiritual growth and potentially preparing the soul for liberation, moksha. Throughout the series, the video highlights classical references and modern scientific findings, including near-death experiences, EEG studies on lucid dreaming, and documented cases of past life memories, illustrating a convergence of spirituality and science. The ultimate message is that sleep and dreams offer more than physical rest. They provide a sacred space for the soul's journey towards self-realization, reincarnation, and ultimately, liberation from the cycle of birth and death. Highlights. Sleep is described as a spiritual journey where the soul temporarily leaves the body and connects with higher consciousness. Neuroscience recognizes sleep as brain recharging and memory processing, but cannot fully explain the soul's experiences. Dreams are seen as a bridge between the soul and subtle realms, often conveying divine or prophetic messages. Lucid dreaming and Yoga Nidra enable conscious awareness during sleep, aiding spiritual awakening. Ancient scriptures like the Upanishads and Bhagavad Gita describe sleep as little death and a rehearsal for actual death. Reincarnation and past life memories are supported by spiritual teachings and scientific case studies. The ultimate goal of sleep and spiritual practice is moksha, liberation from the cycle of birth and death. Key insights. Sleep as a multi-dimensional state of consciousness. The Upanishads describe 3 states: waking, dreaming, and deep sleep, each representing different levels of soul awareness. The deep sleep state, sushupti, is where the soul experiences unity with the supreme consciousness. This reveals sleep is much more than physical rest. It is a dynamic process of soul's interaction with multiple dimensions of reality. Intersect of science and spirituality. Modern neuroscience studies brain waves, memory consolidation, and hormonal regulation during sleep, explaining the physical aspects. Yet, it acknowledges phenomena like lucid dreams and near-death experiences that elude purely biological explanation. This intersection invites a holistic approach to understanding consciousness as both biological and spiritual. Dreams as spiritual and cosmic communication. Dreams are not random hallucinations, but meaningful experiences where the soul receives messages from the cosmos, ancestors, or divine entities. Historical texts and anecdotal evidence of prophetic dreams from epics like Ramayana and Mahabharata demonstrate dreams' role in guiding human destiny. This challenges the reductionist view of dreams as mere mental noise. Lucid dreaming and Yoga Nidra as tools for soul awareness. Lucid dreaming allows the dreamer to consciously navigate the dream world, symbolizing mastery over subconscious realms. Yoga Nidra, a meditative sleep state, keeps consciousness active while the body rests deeply. Both practices are ancient spiritual techniques that modern science validates as enhancing mental health, creativity, and spiritual growth, bridging the gap between science and mysticism. Reincarnation and past life memories. Documented cases of children recalling past lives and scientific investigations into past life regression therapy provide empirical support for the doctrine of reincarnation. This insight fundamentally challenges the materialistic notion of life as a one-time event, suggesting the soul's journey is cyclic and eternal. Sleep as little death and preparation for moksha. Spiritual texts describe sleep as a rehearsal for death, where the soul temporarily detaches from the body but remains connected by subtle energy threads. Prana. Consciousness during sleep can be cultivated to prepare for a conscious transition at death, ultimately leading to moksha, freedom from the cycle of rebirth. This elevates the practice of mindful sleep and dream awareness to a path of liberation. Consciousness as the fundamental reality. Quantum physics and Vedantic philosophy converge in viewing consciousness as the foundational essence of the universe. Sleep and dreams become portals through which this universal consciousness is accessed, and the brain functions as an instrument tuning into this cosmic frequency, much like a radio receiver. This holistic perspective unites ancient wisdom with cutting-edge scientific inquiry. Detailed summary and analysis. The journey begins with the question, where does the soul go during deep sleep? Ancient Indian scriptures provide a layered understanding of consciousness. The Rigveda calls sleep a goddess, Nidra Devi, symbolizing its sacred nature. The Upanishads explain 3 states of consciousness: waking, Jagrat, dreaming, Svapna, and deep sleep, Sushupti. In waking, the soul experiences the external world through senses. Dreaming allows partial freedom of the soul to explore subtle realms. Deep sleep is the state of complete rest, where the soul unites with the supreme consciousness, Paramatma. The Mandukya Upanishad even describes a 4th state, Turiya, beyond these 3, representing transcendental consciousness. Modern neuroscience agrees that sleep is essential for memory consolidation, neuronal connectivity, and hormonal balance. Sleep cycles alternate between non-REM and REM stages, the latter associated with vivid dreaming. Yet science treats sleep largely as a biological necessity, neglecting spiritual dimensions. The video bridges this gap by discussing the 5 pranas, life energies, in the body, highlighting Udan Prana's activation during sleep that draws the soul towards subtle realms. This explains common dream experiences such as flying, meeting unknown people, or visiting unseen places. Spiritual texts like the Bhagavad Gita describe sleep as little death, where the soul temporarily leaves the body, bound by pranic threads, and returns upon waking, death being the permanent severance of these threads. Dreams are explored as not just mental fabrications, but as spiritual journeys and messages. Epics like the Ramayana and Mahabharata recount prophetic dreams that shaped history, while saints and sages have received divine guidance through dreams. Psychological theories by Freud and Jung are acknowledged, with Jung's concept of the collective unconscious resonating with Vedic ideas of universal consciousness accessed through dreams. Lucid dreaming, awareness within dreams, and Yoga Nidra, conscious sleep-like meditation, are introduced as advanced states where the soul remains awake during sleep, providing avenues for intentional spiritual exploration. Scientific research confirms that lucid dreamers can control eye movements during dreams, and Yoga Nidra enhances consciousness, creativity, and emotional balance. The transcript further discusses near-death experiences, NDEs, where individuals report out-of-body experiences and encounters with divine light. Phenomena recognized by science, but interpreted spiritually as the soul's exit from the body. Reincarnation is presented with compelling evidence from documented past life memories, especially in children, studied by researchers like Dr. Ian Stevenson. Scriptures affirm that the soul's journey through multiple births is driven by karma, with sleep and dreams offering glimpses into this eternal cycle. The final chapters focus on moksha, or liberation. Sleep is portrayed as a microcosm of death, where conscious awareness can be cultivated to transcend the cycle of birth and death. Practices like mantra meditation before sleep, maintaining dream journals, and cultivating lucid dreaming and Yoga Nidra are recommended spiritual tools to awaken the soul's true nature. Science and spirituality are harmonized by suggesting that consciousness is the universal principle, with the brain serving as an interface. Quantum physics echoes ancient Vedantic wisdom, acknowledging consciousness beyond the physical. In conclusion, the video series encapsulates sleep and dreams as sacred portals for the soul's journey, encompassing rest, spiritual communication, reincarnation insights, and ultimate liberation. It invites viewers to engage consciously with their sleep and dreams, transforming these nightly experiences into profound spiritual practices. Final thoughts. This comprehensive exploration reveals that sleep is far from a mere biological downtime. It is a multi-layered phenomenon involving the soul's travel, cosmic connection, and spiritual evolution. Dreams act as windows to unseen worlds, offering guidance, prophecy, and self-discovery. The integration of ancient wisdom with scientific findings enriches our understanding of consciousness and encourages a holistic approach to life, death, and beyond. Cultivating awareness during sleep through lucid dreaming and Yoga Nidra can be a transformative practice, leading not only to better health and creativity, but also to the soul's ultimate freedom, moksha.